everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do another tips video on the hardest task in CarX Drift Racing 2 campaign, which is the GYMKHANA Task 4. It's basically just a simple time trial, but it's really unforgiving, so you'll need to give it everything you got. And I'll show you the easiest way to do it for beginners, but the method that I'm gonna show you is not the only way to complete it. I mean, you can just drift normally like I did in this run, but it's not really a beginner's thing, but you can still try it though. Alright, we'll start with the requirements. You can only enter this campaign with a car that weighs under 1.8 ton, so basically you can use any car except that huge cargo truck. And the easiest method for beginners is the grip method, which means that you'll run the track gripping and not drifting. And what you need is a high-powered, super grippy car. And once you pick your car, you'll have to use semi-slick and a custom grip tuning, which I'll talk about later. You'll also need to understand throttle control, because honestly, all those things don't matter if you can't do throttle control. Now, I'm gonna use the SPACEKNIGHT for that task, and I'll show you how to do it with this method. First thing first, you have to use sequential because using automatic is just way too hard for that task. Also, avoid using handbrake at all costs. Do not use the handbrake. Use the brake pedal instead, because like I said, we're gonna grip it all the way to the end, and I'll also explain the tuning after this next run. Alright, now we're gonna talk about the tuning. I'll explain it so you can do this kind of tuning in your other cars if you don't have the SPACEKNIGHT. First, I'm running a generally softer suspension setup, so my car will have some extra grip. And I'm not using sway bar at the front because I actually want the body roll so it will have more stable grip at the front. But it's going to be different on different cars, so you'll have to experiment, because too much body roll or too soft suspension will negatively impact your car's performance. And on the two settings, since we're gonna grip the track and not drifting, you want all your wheels to be perfectly straight, so we're gonna zero them out to make it stable. Now, on the increment settings, if you set it to 0, you'll have better grip and stability when you're cornering, but you lose agility and turning angle. And for this task, you want the agility. So set it a bit high to have easier control over your car when it's cornering, but not too high or you'll spin out easily. On the shock absorber settings, I'm using the most stable settings because we're doing a grip build, so we need the extra stability. On the rear suspension setup, I'm running a fairly soft sway bar to kinda increase the agility, but you'll also increase the chance of oversteer by doing it, and I'll explain about it next. Now, as you can see, I'm running a slightly negative rear camber, and it's not for nothing. With this setup, the zero camber is at about -2.5 and I'm running -3. This negative rear camber will act like training wheels. Let me explain. This is a drift game, and whatever you do, your car will always find its way to drift. No matter what you do, your car will always oversteer. So, in a sense, this grip build is to make it harder for your car to find that way and to reduce the effect of that oversteer. And what I mean by training wheels is that when you lose grip, which you will, and your car slides, this negative rear camber will prevent your car from sliding too far, and it will help you straighten out quicker. If you zero out the camber, you'll have better grip and acceleration, but when you lose grip, your car will slide further. So, go ahead and pick your poison. Now, on the wheel settings, I'm running a fairly low pressure tires because lower pressure means more grip, but if it's too low, you're gonna have some stability issues. And I'm running bigger wheels at the rear because bigger wheels means more grip. And what I did was trying to balance out the traction between the front and the rear wheels. If I use same sized wheels on this car, the front grip will be way too much and it will make this car oversteer a lot more. But again, this is different for different cars, so go experiment with yours. Now, all these gear ratios don't really matter. You'll be fine as long as you got decent acceleration. I mean, you're gonna be using sequential, so even the default gearing is fine. But you have to always set your diff lock to 0, which means that you're gonna run without differential, because you want to perfectly grip the track and you wanna catch on the grip quick when you lose it. So always set it to 0 and there's no other way around it, no matter what car you're using. Now, last one, set the brake bias all the way to the front because it will help you maneuver easier around the hairpin corners if you need some extra turning angle. That's it for this video, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.